All right, wanted to let you know there was a phone call reportedly between President Biden and President Zelensky of Ukraine this afternoon. We don't know if the result was what we saw come from Jen Psaki. It does seem like odd that a press secretary would be issuing news of an executive order that would prohibit new investment, trade, and financing by U.S. persons in the so-called DNR and LNR regions. That's Donetsk and Luhansk. It's almost like blaming the victim. I mean, they're the ones that have been declared
I'm not sure
independent.
how that impacts, I don't know how that impacts Russia unless it is a disincentive for Russia to take it a step further and annex these regions.
Possibly, although
benefit.
Later in the Psaki statement, it's we're continuing to closely consult with allies and partners, including Ukraine, on next steps and on Russia's ongoing escalation along the border with Ukraine. So anyway, just want to let you know these things were going on. Ford, I did want to get back to you. You were talking about how Germany is a problem in this equation. I wanted you to go into why they're a problem. I know we all know they want natural gas from Russia, and Russia wants to sell it to them through Nord Stream 2. But why is Germany not going along? They seem, you know, in the past, they would have been like this with us.
Well, let's remember, NATO was created in 1949 for the sole purpose to stop Russian aggression, and the biggest player on mainland Europe is Germany. And right now, they are actively undermining NATO because, to your point, Bob, yes, they want Russian oil and natural gas to be piped in, but they also want to sell their cars, particularly Mercedes-Benz, into China. So therefore, they are playing the same game that the Chinese Communist Party and the Putin Russians are, and they feel that it's okay to redefine Europe because as long as Berlin and Brussels aren't bombed, they don't give a fig about their neighbor.
Yeah, I mean, and it was Germany that pressured the Biden administration initially when Biden won the election to reverse the sanctions on the Nord Stream 2. So they caved to Germany then, and I'm not sure, Melanie, why we don't think that Biden will cave to them again.
We have no reason to think that. And I have a question about the way this entire thing is being handled. Why are we getting a statement from Jen Psaki when we were told all weekend by Kamala Harris that this was being handled? That basically, if Russia does anything, brace yourselves from the extreme sanctions that Russia was going to suffer. Where are they? Where is the president having prepared a statement to talk to the nation about how this is being handled? What is going on? It just seems like, once again, the Biden administration is completely inept with how they're handling foreign affairs. I was fully expecting, you know, this plethora of extreme sanctions and for Russia to be floored by what was going to happen to them. Because
I was also trying to find out where this information was coming from, that there had been a phone call. That's not even coming from the Biden administration. That was from Zelensky himself, who has apparently tweeted out that they are now meeting with their National Security and Defense Council and that he did discuss the events with President Biden, the events of the last few hours from Zelensky.
You know what's interesting to me, Ford, is in my lifetime, I don't remember feeling like the United States was this weak internationally.
Well, I think you're absolutely right about that, but I think part of it is because we've been on the decades-old foreign policy of diplomacy and treaties, and the world has changed with autocrats in China, Russia, and Iran, and we need to change the way that our prism of foreign policy is. America's still the strongest player on the world stage, but we have to remember what makes us so strong in this current world order, and that is our oil and natural gas, and that's what gives us leverage over many places around the world. I think what really concerns me here is that a lot of Europe is willing to allow Putin to do this just out of basic necessity, and they feel it's okay. I mean, he wants to push the map back to 1938. That's pretty remarkable when you think about it. And remember, this isn't just Ukraine or a portion of Ukraine. This started in 2008 with Georgia. It went to Crimea and really Belarus, as far as I can tell.
Right. Yeah. There's more to come.
Well, that's why I think that nothing really is going to happen beyond this, because this is already a win for Putin just in declaring the independence of
I
these
think more
particular
comes,
regions.
I don't know exactly when, but I think he sees weakness.
Right.
And I think he's taking advantage of it. I think there is more to come, unfortunately.
More land, death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's what he's
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Like
I think
what's
we're
been
agreeing
happening the
that the
last
style
8
may
years,
not
the
be a
slow
full
creep
invasion.
will
but-
continue.
yeah. All right, Fort O'Connell, Melanie Collette, thank you so much.